Hello, we are expertsaw.com. In this video, we're going to show you the feature product of Makita JR3050. The 11-amp Makita retaining machine, JR3050T, combines a powerful 11-amp, low-weight, 7.3 pounds, engine for everyday use and improved performance. The variable speed motor of 1180 to 2800 SPM, has a 1:1/8-inch blade displacement for efficient cutting. It is ideal for cutting metals, cutting wood, plastering, and plasterboard, plastics, remodeling, and demolition. One of the significant brand new units of the Makita tools stable. The JR3050T also has an internal ventilation system to remove debris from the cutting line for better visibility. It is equipped with a high-strength swab and a tool-less change blades for swapping and quick removal of the edges. The JR3050T has been designed to extend the life of ball and roller bearings and a healthy body with a rubber gasket to seal the engine and dust and scraper bearings. Ball and needle bearings prolong tool life, and accessible outer brushes allow easy maintenance. The JR3050T is one of the most versatile and robust alternatives that offer a lightweight reciprocating saw and is ideal for builders, manufacturers, retailers, and general contractors. 1. Make sure always to keep the work area clean and well lit. Obfuscated and the dark regions call for accidents. 2. Do not use power tools in explosive environments, such as in the presence of flammable liquids, gases, or dust. Electronic devices create sparks that can ignite dust smoke. 5. Avoid body contact with grounded surfaces such as pipes, radiators, stoves, and refrigerators. There is an increased risk of electrical shock if your body is rooted or grounded. 11. It prevents accidental start. Make sure that the switch is in the off position before connecting it. Moving power tools with your finger to the switch or combining the power tools in which the switch is inserted causes accidents. 12. Before turning on the power tool machine, remove any wrench. A wrench or a left key connected to a rotating part of the power tool can cause bodily injury. 21. Keep cutting tools sharp and clean. Cutting tools well maintained with sharp cutting edges are less likely to bind and are easier to control. 1. Hold the power tool through insulated, gripping surfaces when performing an operation in which the cutting tool can meet hidden cables or its cable. Contact with a live wire will cause the exposed metal parts of the instrument to be live and create a shock to the operator. 6. Check the correct distance beyond the workpiece before cutting so that the blade does not touch the floor, workbench, etc. 11. Always stop and wait for the blade to stop completely before removing the edge from the workpiece. 15. Some materials contain chemicals that can be toxic. Take care to avoid inhalation of dust and skin contact. Follow the material provider's safety data. Before connecting the instrument, always check that the switch trigger is working correctly and returns to the off position when released. The switch can be locked in the on position to facilitate operator comfort during prolonged use. Take care to close the tool to the on position and keep a grip on the device. To start the machine, pull the switch trigger. The tool speed is increased by increasing the pressure on the switch trigger. Release the switch trigger to turn it off. For continuous operation, press the switch trigger, and then press the lock button. Entirely pull the trigger, then release it to stop the instrument from the locked position. All sawdust or foreign bodies that adhere to the blade clamp/blade holder and slider must be cleaned. Failure to observe this precaution may result in insufficient blade clamping, resulting in serious injury. To install the blade, always make sure that the blade clamp bush is in the released position before inserting the knife. If the blade clamp sleeve is in the fixed position, rotate the blade retaining sleeve in the direction of the arrow so that it can be locked in the free place. The saw blade should be inserted into the blade clamp as far as possible. The sealing blade collar rotates, and the saw blade is secured. Make sure the sharp saw blade cannot be removed even if you try to remove it. If the great saw blade is not inserted too deeply, the module may be unexpectedly removed during operation. It can be extremely dangerous. If the saw blade is removed without fully turning the blade clamp bush, the sleeve may not be locked in the free place. In this case, rotate the blade clamp again, then make sure that the blade retaining sleeve is locked in the released position. Always firmly press the shoe onto the workpiece during operation. If the pump is kept away from the workpiece during service, strong vibrations and twisting will occur, causing the blade to fall. Always use appropriate coolant, cutting oil, when cutting the metal. Otherwise, premature blade wear may occur. Firmly press the shoe against the piece. Do not skip the tool. Bring the blade into contact with the track quickly. First, make a pilot groove using lower speed. So, you use a higher rate to continue cutting. Always make sure the instrument is switched off and disconnected before performing any inspections or maintenance. Remove and periodically check the carbon brushes. Replace it when it is at the limit. Keep the carbon brushes clean and free to slip into the racks. Should remember to replace both the carbon brushes at the same time. Only use identical carbon brushes. Some powders created by sanding, cutting, grinding, drilling and other building activities contain chemicals known to the state of California to cause cancer, congenital disabilities or other reproductive damage.